Chalk up another win for the mystery drones. Over the past few years, unmanned aerial systems of unknown origin have been buzzing restricted airspace, including highly sensitive military sites.
So documents have now been made public, which detail pretty disturbing incursions over a desert facility known as Plant 42. That is the birthplace of top secret technology. 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp is here with that story tonight. George?
Yeah, these mystery drones sure do get around, don't they? Months before they filled the skies of New Jersey and U.S. air bases in the UK, swarms of unidentified whatchamacallits returned night after night and hovered directly over Plant 42 in Palmdale, California, an aerospace brain trust with distinct ties to Nevada's own Area 51. The most visible connection between top-secret sites of the Southwest are the unmarked planes of Janet, the hush-hush airline that flies workers from Las Vegas up to Area 51 or to Area 52 near Tonopah. It also ferries back and forth to Palmdale and the sprawling complex known as Plant 42, a Mojave Desert enclave of brilliant engineers and aerospace brainiacs working on projects for NASA, the Air Force, and CIA. The cutting-edge technologies are vital to national security. All the big names are here. Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, Northrop Grumman, McDonnell Douglas. It's the birthplace of all sorts of amazing machines, including the soon-to-be unveiled B-21 Raider, and we're told the next generation of UAVs, that is, drones. Ironic in light of what occurred at Plant 42 back in August, when on 6 straight nights, drones of unknown origin invaded and hovered over the plant before vanishing into the dark.
So the documentation basically suggests that this was some kind of surveillance and espionage activity, and also they do state that the capabilities of these drones exhibited do suggest they were beyond hobbyist drones.
Chris Sharp is a London journalist who's been digging into drone incursions in the U.S. and U.K. He and a colleague used FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, to coax official reports about the Palmdale drones out of the Air Force. The first public hint that something odd was in the skies over Palmdale came from residents who reported seeing UFOs.
Holy shit! What the hell is that?
They shared images on X. Months later, the military acknowledged to a defense publication, The War Zone, that mystery drones had penetrated Plant 42 multiple times in August, but the whole thing was downplayed until weeks ago when the British reporters obtained the FOIA records. The documents show that drones, which the reports referred to as UXS, meaning unmanned X systems, were of different shapes and sizes and with various colored lights. The first incursion was the night of August 2nd over Site 4, one of 10 sections within the plant. The drones stuck around for hours, and when they departed out over Palmdale, security personnel pursued them for miles off base, but lost them. The next night, 5 drones returned and visited 4 different sites within the plant. One drone hovered over Site 7 for 25 minutes. Similar incursions happened every night through August 7th, and even though some drones were visible for hours, Plant 42 says it was never able to get a single photo or video of any of them.
Like the fact that there were no photographs. Okay, that's really silly. I mean, so you've got these things appearing over multiple nights and no one thought to take a photo. I mean, that's BS to me. So that makes me question the documentation itself.
Back in 2022, folks inside the Plant 42 complex made it clear that they built sort of an electronic fence around this facility to deter or disable any drones that flew into restricted airspace. Whatever they had back in August of last year, it didn't work. For Chris Sharp, this is familiar. A few months after the Palmdale drone swarms, U.S. air bases in the U.K. had repeated drone incursions night after night. As Sharp reported back then, the U.S. threw everything it had at them, but couldn't bring them down, nor could it track them when they left. The same thing occurred a year earlier at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. The drone overflights appear to be doing surveillance of sensitive military sites.
The common person, even Area 51, didn't know about.
Former CIA electronics specialist T.D. Barnes spent most of his career at Area 51 and wrote a definitive history of the base, CIA Section D. He suspects the drones are ours, conducting unannounced security tests at different facilities, and that the Pentagon will likely never admit to it. Chris Sharp notes that the incursions have also invaded the airspace of key American allies in Britain, Germany, and Denmark.
So if it's Americans testing stuff on us over our sensitive facilities, then they've got a lot of explaining to do.
If the drones are an espionage effort by foreign adversaries, does this mean Palmdale has a nest of Chinese or Russian spies unleashing drones from the garage, then hiding them in a backyard when they're done? Is that also what happened at Langley Air Force Base, Wright-Patterson, and other key U.S. bases? If so, someone should let NORAD know. The folks in charge of protecting our airspace just issued a statement days ago saying drone incursions are an increasing problem at bases all over the U.S. They want it to stop.
And George, if these are security tests by us, have they essentially been useful?
Yeah, I mean, they certainly have displayed some sort of a vulnerability. We can't track them when they come in. We can't track them when they leave. We can't shoot them down. That's a big gap in our systems. I hope that the smart people at Plant 42 can figure out some new technology that can fight this.
When I heard no photographic evidence, I said that's a little hinky.
Come on.
Thanks, George.
All right.